When it comes to our national defence and national security, I feel very passionately it's absolutely vital that we keep a strong military and armed forces base in the UK. History has taught us every single time that we've let our guard down, it has led to war. And when you consider at the moment what's going on with Putin and Ukraine, for example, Farage has actually said that it's the West's fault for encroaching forward. And I think, to be fair, he might have a point there. But it's ironic because actually also our forces leaders were saying not to go the Brexit route because that would also send a message of a weakened Europe to Putin. So however we look at it, we're now in a position where Putin considers that he clearly is able to move forward against Ukraine. But we've got issues across the world, across the Middle East as well, and the Far East potentially. We know there are issues with China, what's happening over there. North Korea is making threats. It's absolutely vital that we keep our national services fully supported. The current government spend is earmarked to be just over 2%, 2.5%. NATO is actually saying that ideally, really, we should be going for 3%. Poland actually spends 4% of its GDP on forces. Now, the problem we've got is because retrospectively the austerity cuts came in, our government's funding promises actually are only really going to make up for the shortfall in what we've lost. So if we're really serious about improving, modernising our armed forces, we need to consider investing more. Now, Labour's policies are pretty much in line with the government's, only they're saying we'll spend more when we've got it. Again, it's delaying things. We are in a crisis. We are potentially facing a military crisis as well, looking overseas, international relations. It's absolutely vital, I believe, going back to an earlier comment I made about our economy, that we seriously consider if we have to borrowing in order to get that investment in. Now, you do not have a ready army overnight. It takes training, it takes time. You're not going to build your equipment overnight. It takes time. We need to be prepared for whatever's coming, and that requires us to invest now. With regards to our own internal national security, we're also seeing a rise in threats regarding potential terrorism. And also, from a policing point of view, unfortunately we're seeing more and more evidence of cybercrime. That is hugely expensive to police, and it's international, it crosses boundaries. So we need to be investing more in our police and security services in order to start seriously tackling this. And we know just from even recently how much damage can be done if we don't deal with this threat seriously. We need more people trained to deal with cybercrime. We need more police officers to deal also with internet crime. So, for example, appalling issues like child pornography. Those cases take years. It can take years to research and to build cases to go to court with. So we need more policing, because at the moment what's actually happening, certainly here in Lincolnshire, is that police are going off the streets in order to look at these areas. We need both, because we know, got issues with drug dealing rising, for example, knife crimes rising, and serious antisocial behaviour, burglaries. All these things are rising, and we need to have more officers on the beat too. So we need that investment, and what's being promised by all of the main parties is just not enough.